Yes, Tottenham have announced this morning that Celtic boss Ange Postecoglou will be taking over as manager from July the 1st. Now, to get a little bit of insight into what he's like as a manager, let's bring in his former captain of Brisbane Roar, Matt Smith. Afternoon, Matt. How you doing?
Hey, Dan. Andy? How are you?
Very good, Matt. Very good. So tell us a little about what Spurs fans are going to get from Ange Postecoglou. What sort of a man is he? What sort of football genuinely can they expect?
Change, I think. That's probably the biggest thing, that he has a very, very, very good impact straight away. He's very, very determined, sincere, passionate, extremely motivated to be able to, put in play his approach, his philosophy, and there's no negotiating with his style. I think that's proven everywhere he's go. But for me, anyway, one of the best that I've had to work with, one of the best I've ever had the pleasure of working under. And I'm sure the countless players that have played underneath him will say very, very similar things. He's extremely consistent.
Listen, he was at a massive club in Celtic, just won the treble. But do you think with his qualities as a manager, he was always destined to manage in the Premier League, which is seen as the best league in the world?
Absolutely. A lot of the players when we were playing in Brisbane were bedazzled by him, to be completely blunt. And there was a thing around the dressing room that it will only be a matter of time before he gets an opportunity in the Premier League. So for those that have worked under him, especially in his early days here in Australia, it is a massive achievement, but it's come as no real surprise.
Matt, what about tactically? Because look, with the greatest respect, Celtic are expected to win more often than not. Now he's going to be taking over a team that he's got to build, he's got to put a structure together. He's also tactically got to get them right. What are the Spurs fans going to expect in that respect?
The one thing with Ange is that he's very strict. He's very ruthless. He's very strong in his ways in terms of his aggressive attacking style. Everything is about being on the front foot. Everything is all about possession, about quick ball movement, about speed of players, movement. There was one time that we've incorporated at Brisbane, and all of the media or all of the opposition coaches were saying, "We figured you out. We know how you play." His message was, well, we just be better. We keep improving. We keep getting faster. Tactically, as you've seen, wherever he's gone, he's got this possession-based style, which he has he's got a huge strength in buying from his players. He makes you feel invincible. So his mantra is always about improvement. His mantra is not worrying about what he can't control in opposition. What he focuses on is himself and his team.
What's he like in the dressing room? I mean, is he quite animated or is he quite offish? Like, what is he like? What's his management style when it comes to, I don't know, just like tactically in the dressing room, how he deals with players in the dressing room?
A couple of things. There was never a team talk that was the same. So I played underneath him for 2 years. We used to walk into a changing room and we'd have a side joke saying, well, what can you say today that's gonna motivate us? But we'd walk out wanting to fight through a brick wall for him, which was always something that he was very, very strong on. I think that it didn't matter if you were the captain of the club. It didn't matter if you were a young player, a foreign player, a marquee player. If you didn't follow what his instructions were, if you didn't follow his mantra, he would quickly pick you off. He had no discrimination against anybody in the sense of hierarchy. And I think that was where he's gone to. He's made pretty quick changes, and he's very clear on how and what type of person, what type of players that he wants within his team. Yeah.
So Matt, for some of those players at Spurs, can they expect a decision pretty quickly on their futures and on the way that Ange Postecoglou is gonna look at them? I mean, he'll make his mind up pretty sharpish about those that he believes are going to be with him and those that aren't.
I think Ange is from my experiences, he'll always give people and players an opportunity. I think that he'll certainly go in there, and he's a very educated man. He's a very well planned in terms of his how he implements that. I'm sure he's got a very, very clear idea of the players that are there. He does a lot of homework. He'd have already done an awful lot of research. So I'm sure that he'll give the players, the staff, the environment an opportunity to see what's there, and then he will quickly determine which way he wants to go. But I had the same conversations when he first joined Celtic, and it was don't judge him by the first few weeks, judge him by the end of the season, because everywhere he's gone, he's certainly impacted some change.
Matt, now listen, you've given him a glowing reference of how you worked under him, and how good he was. One of the big decisions he's going to have to make is regarding Harry Kane. Now, what can Ange Postecoglou, as you know him really well, you speak really highly about him, what can he do, or what can he bring to Spurs that can convince Harry Kane to stay?
One of the best things about Ange is that he loves to create legacies. He loves to create environments. He loves to create a journey and bring players along on that journey. Now, obviously, I'm not privy to a lot of the conversations that happened over the last 24 hours or last couple of weeks, but if there's one thing that Ange is his huge strength, it's his player and management. So I think that with Harry Kane, I believe that Ange will get the best out of not only Harry, but all of the players there. So again, I'm not expecting anything too soon, but I believe that he will bring the best out of those players.
Listen, Matt, you said that, and I fully agree with you. And we've seen certain managers maybe go into Spurs and maybe put too much emphasis on Harry Kane. Is Ange one of them managers that particularly won't just concentrate on him, but will look at, listen, at the end of the day, Kane might not be there. He's got to work on the whole team. Is he someone that will work on the structure of the team as opposed to just worrying about one player?
Absolutely. So when I played underneath him, everyone had their roles and responsibilities. We had amazing players at Brisbane, but we never relied upon one particular player to succeed or fail. He used his system approach of consistency on roles and responsibilities. He made sure that players were very, very clear on that, and there was no negotiations on that. And there was moments when we played that we were without our marquee players, and players would come in and know exactly the same role. So he doesn't just rely on individual brilliance. He does rely on a system, and for that system to work, it needs the buy-in of all players. And that's one thing that, again, from my experience, he gained that pretty quickly.
What's his ceiling? I know he's been at a huge club in Celtic. We know how big that football club is. He's come over to the Premier League. He's gone to another huge club in Tottenham. How high can he go? Is this his ceiling, or can you see him going to the very, very top? And I'm talking about teams that potentially could be challenging for European honours.
Ange doesn't like to set limits. He doesn't like to set limits on his teams. He doesn't like to set ceilings. Obviously, there's lots of targets and objectives, and we're all in the nature of winning, right? But he doesn't set that for himself. He doesn't set that for his teams or his players. He's always about continual improvement. He's always about being the best that he can be, and he's always about being and playing, competing at the highest level. So, do I believe he can go higher? Absolutely.
And what about Matt, finally? So when the boys turn up for pre-season training for the first day, what can they take in as a little prezi for the new coach to get into his good books?
Well, good question. See, that's the thing, right? Players, for me personally, there was a huge amount of respect. He kept his distances. I couldn't tell you what his favourite drinks is. I can't tell you what his favourite food is. But what I think that they can expect is to be ready to work.
Great.
Absolutely. Listen, Matt, really appreciate
nice
your time. Thanks
Matt.
for coming on. Top man.
Cheers, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks for your time.
That was Matt Smith there, the former captain of Brisbane Roar. Gave him a glowing reference, didn't he? Absolute glowing reference.
And everybody who's coming to Ange Postecoglou's path speaks so highly of him, speaks so well about him. I'm again, he's all he's had since he's been at Celtic, down to his hard work and his diligence, and the fact that he's very good at his job with a good group of players, is he's had success. Now at Spurs, when they start, if he goes in there and they lose a few, they get off to a bad start. We all know the vibe at Spurs. It can change very, very quickly. So whatever he's going to administer, or whatever he's going to say at these boys, that message got to get over quickly, and they're going to have to do a lot of hours, I would think, pre-season, Darren, to make sure they get off to a really good solid start, because that is what Daniel Levy will be praying for. Otherwise, once again, the attention will turn back to him, and it's all a mess again. Whereas at the moment, everybody, as Matt did there, speaking so well of him, and it's making it exciting. The prospect of watching Spurs is an exciting one again.
It does, all of a sudden you think, oh, okay, someone who's hungry going in the door. I think they'll do them.
By the way, good afternoon, boys. I went to see Jacko at the old Wembley for 25 quid. John at Deb's Ironing Shop in Wakefield. John, what are you doing in Deb's Ironing Shop? Hope you're not working. Hope you're not ironing.
talkSPORT Drive with Andy Goldstein. Monday to Friday afternoon from 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.